This week I thought I'd talk about something that I've written before. In fact, something that I wrote 8 years ago now, getting on for 9, which is becoming more and more relevant every week as you watch the news. Back in 2008, I started a book that was inspired by my slightly perverse love of techno thrillers, Tom Clancy and the like. I always wanted to do something that was different, something that took a completely opposite tack to the politics and glorification of the military that they had, but was about the same kind of thing, a big, global, scary conflict. And what I wrote, starting in November 2008 and working through into 2009, was this, Sounds of Soldiers, which was about the aftermath of the sort of war that happens in Clancy books. But I flipped everything upside down. The Americans were in the wrong, the military answer was entirely the wrong one, and the US lost. The US tore itself apart in a civil war. Basically, what at the time was called the Culture War, I turned it into a civil war and had the United States attacking former allies, doing really dangerous things, basically becoming a terrorist on the global stage. This, however, was mostly backstory. It's bits and pieces were told in Sounds of Soldiers, but the big details were sketched in. And I think we're seeing them now. The story was inspired by the possibility of Sarah Palin becoming president. Say, McCain won, and then he had a heart attack and she took over from him. And the sort of stupidity that she was pandering to becoming policy in the States. The sad fact is, we've got that now, only its name is Trump. And with stuff like the events in Charlottesville over the last weekend, his strange inability to condemn the Nazis and the Ku Klux Klan, or to say anything bad about Putin, and his need to censor as best he can the media by telling everyone that it's all fake news. It's all the sort of stuff that would have been the backstory for Sounds of Soldiers. So this is actually quite a positive tale because it's after the fact. It's the story of one guy who saw some of the fighting that happened in Europe during this weird war, and he comes back to Manchester and discovers how stuff has changed, and the world's better because it's had to change to become greener. The problem is, of course, nearly 1 billion people die in the preamble to the story. So that's a future we don't want. In the story, there had to be a massive conflict. The United States had to destroy itself, had to tear itself apart, kill millions of its citizens, millions of other people, and only then could things get better. Please, please, please let that not be the way the world goes now. This has been a partly political broadcast on the behalf of Spinny Head.